हाय दोस्तों, नमस्कार. Welcome to our YouTube channel BajiRao IAS Academy. Today is 19th of September and we are going to start the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. Before starting our discussion, if you are new to our channel, please do subscribe, like, share to your friend circle, and also if you hadn't joined our Telegram channel, you can join to it by clicking on the link mentioned into the description. So in today's article, the focus of the day is that India has a proud moment to celebrate. It is all because a new heritage has been included into the UNESCO World Heritage List. And why this is a proud moment? Because this signifies India's glorious cultural past. And also, when we talk about Shantiniketan, the place which has been mentioned into the UNESCO World Heritage List, it has a historical importance, it has the humanistic values associated with it. Why? Because this place, Shantiniketan, was established by Rabindranath Tagore. And when we talk about this personality, you are well aware that Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize, and also it had contributed into India's freedom struggle. Specifically, when we talk about 1905 Swadeshi movement, then the Bengal partition when occurred in the 1905, then definitely this personality had a huge duty to integrate the persons as well as the peoples from different religious faith to be integrated during the tougher times. That's why this personality has a very important role. And not only that, because of the humanistic nature, they had contributed into various literatures as well as the ideas of humanity, traditions, all of these. And that's why UPSC also focuses on this. And if you had seen the recent paper of GS paper 1, then definitely the contribution of Rabindranath Tagore was asked. So be prepared with these type of questions, because nowadays UPSC do focuses on the personality and their thinking as well as their ideas on different topics like humanity, like education. So be prepared with that. And all these articles when we discuss, please do mention into your answer, because this enriches the answers. That is also very important. If you are able to link the current affairs with the answer, then definitely the marks you will getting better and the improvement will be better into your mains answer writing. So the news of the day we have discussed. And if we talk about some other basics, the Shantiniketan is located in West Bengal, and also it was an important place for education. In fact, you are well aware of Guru Shishya Parampara, where children used to study here with the nature, with close integration with the nature, rather in the well tight a school bounded by the four walls. It was not that. It was nature like a study. Children goes there and studies in the nature and learns various things which brings peace, which brings global values related to humanity and many more things. That is also important point to note here. Okay. And this Shantiniketan was established in 1901, and now after addition to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, total number of site which is in World Heritage List of India is basically 41. You should remember this fact for the prelims as well. Here it is the 41. Okay. And who manages these heritage sites in India? Then there is a body called Archaeological Survey of India that do manages this heritage and also renovates and innovates and try to maintain its credibility. That is also important. And if you hadn't read about Rabindranath Tagore, kindly visit to the Spectrum book of modern history, where you will get idea about the Rabindranath Tagore. And if you talk about some of the books, please comment into the comment section about certain books which was published by Rabindranath Tagore. That is also an important point to note for the prelims. Okay, so friends, after discussion of news of the day, we will move on to the article discussion. And in the article discussion, we have to focus first of all on the editorial section, and we will discuss two articles related to the editorial. First of all is your India's healthcare infrastructure and growing role of artificial intelligence. When we talk about India's healthcare infrastructure, means that India's healthcare infrastructure is growing, and also there is increasing integration of technology, artificial intelligence, robotics into our healthcare system, which is helpful not only for reducing the disease burden but also experimenting to deal with the non-communicable disease like cancer treatment, like cardiovascular disease treatment, and all of that. And also because of that, there is growing medical tourism in India, which brings foreign exchange as well as strategic importance. This is also a dimensions that we are going to discuss. And also for the second article, we will talk about the Project Cheetah. As you all know, 1 year had been spent after the introduction of Project Cheetah in September 2022. Now, after 1 year, we are seeing that the cheetah is dying. Also, the childrens of cheetah is also are not able to survive. So, what are the factors of cause of death, along with what lessons we should learn from these issues? So we are going to discuss all these, and also what are the causes of death. We will discuss Project Cheetah, a reintroduction plan, because already cheetah was extinct from India, not from the world, from India, specifically Asiatic cheetah, because of the prey, because of the illegal killings and all that. So we will focus on that, and also we will focus on prelims bites. Two articles, one will be your PM Biskarma scheme and the another will be the UN reforms. However, you can also use for the mains as well. So we will discuss all these, and before starting of the discussion, you have to attempt the questions for UPSC mains. And when we talk about the question, it is also related to the health infrastructure. You can listen to the question, you can also solve, you can also generate keywords into the mind, so that you can be able to recall, and it will help you in enhancing your remaining capacity. Okay, so public health system has limitations in providing universal health coverage. Do you think that the private sector could help in bridging the gap? What other viable alternatives would you suggest? In simple terms, you have to link the role of private sector, like public private partnership, and you have to integrate. And also why India's public healthcare system has limitations, because we have high number of disease burden, high number of population, along with there is a income crisis in India. So because of all these, we have the limited success of public healthcare system, and to deal with that, we need innovation, we need creativity into our healthcare system, and that can be catered by the private healthcare infrastructure, because they brings innovation. But there is a other dimensions, like it increases the cost, it increases the cost burden. So there is also an issue with it, but there is a need for the closer collaboration between the private and the public. That is the point you should also write into the answers. And if there is a viable alternatives, you can also suggest, like you can talk about the telemedicine and a role of awareness, disease prevention, as well as the shift to the Ayurvedic. There are many more dimensions you can add. That is the point. And also when we talk about the questions related to PYQ prelims, you should pause the slide video and try to solve the question, and this is also important questions you can think of. Okay, so now we are shifting to our editorial discussion. First article will be related to the GS paper 2, and if you are liking our initiative, please do share, subscribe, and also join our Telegram channel. The link has been given into the description box, where you will get various ideas as well as articles of discussion, PDF, along with important news events that is running around the nation for the prelims purpose, as well as some important further points that you can use for the mains answer. So you should join as well, it will be very beneficial for you. So now, after discussion of the basic background, we are coming to the main point. First of all, we have seen India's rising potential in terms of space, in terms of G20 presidency, in terms of electrification, in terms of raising the concerns about climate change. We have all talked, and this highlights our potential. But also, on the one side, we are increasing our presence at the global platform, but on the another side, we are also facing some of the critical issues, like India, which is known for world's diabetes capital, because the highest number of diabetes patients is in India. Along with that, we have one of the highest burden of non-communicable disease. When we talk about non-communicable disease, it means these diseases are non-communicable, non-infectious to other persons from the persons who are being infected. And when we talk about communicable disease, means these diseases are infectious. This will expand from one person to another person. And some of the examples of communicable disease is your COVID-19, the viral infection, bacterial infections, all these, like TB. Okay. And if we talk about the examples of non-communicable disease, we have the cancer, we have the diabetes, we have the heart disease, we have the respiratory disease, we can have the genetic disorder as well. This all comes under non-communicable disease. And how does it spread? It spreads because of the lifestyle related problems, along with proper nutrition has not been taken. Because of that, immunity gets weak. It is all one of the factors, contributing factors. So despite we have the one of the highest burden of non-communicable disease, but we are not able to take good action. And if left unchecked, India's non-communicable disease burden will be nearly $4 trillion by 2030. You can understand, first of all, India is a developing nation, and it requires huge money and huge infrastructure development. But if most of our money is spent into the healthcare, into resolving the disease burden, then the development, the world level infrastructure will not able to be get expanded. So there is a need to prevent the non-communicable disease, and there is a process, there is a method that needs to be done with. And because of that, there is an age tax on India's demographic dividend. What is age tax? In simple terms, age tax means when the population age is increasing into the demographic dividend, peoples are facing disease burden, specifically to non-communicable disease. Okay, that is the age tax. Means with increase in age, there is indirectly taxes or the burden on the people, on the nation, on the economy. And also, we have talked here about non-communicable disease. You can also remember the impact of communicable disease. If both gets integrated, the burden gets more increased. So that is the problem, and that's why we need to focus on reducing the burden. And not only that, we have the good achievement in healthcare system as well. Like India is known for the medical tourism because of the high medical value travel. High medical value travel means people of different nation finds cheaper for treatment of disease in India, and because of that they comes to India for the treatment, and this enhances our forex reserve. Along with this is also very important for India's strategic importance. Why strategic importance? Because if we are able to establish close relations with the different countries as a soft power, then definitely we have the security with respect to the global concerns, with respect to the global insecurity that are hurling around. That is also an important point. And also to facilitate medical value travel, we are having good infrastructure integrating of the technology like robotics, like artificial intelligence in various disease, specifically when we talk about the non-communicable disease like treatment of the cancer, like treatment of the cardiovascular disease. For example, in case of cancer treatment, we are introducing proton beam therapy technology that also makes India a better ground for the treatment of these type of disease. And also when we talk about cancer, it is very deadly disease, and it is also very costly. So people from different nation comes here for the treatment, and not only for the cancer but for other disease as well. So role of artificial intelligence in India, specifically in the medical sector, is also increasing and has very much potential. Like robotic surgery has gained popularity, and also international patients are coming for the treatment. And why robotic surgery and artificial intelligence is gaining popularity? Because faster treatment, better patient outcomes, efficiency, and it can also revolutionize the diagnostic sector is also very important, because without diagnosis of the disease you will not be able to treat a person. And if you are not able to diagnose, then definitely the treatment will not be available, and no patient will come for the treatment if you are not able to diagnose. So better is to better the technology, that diagnosis, and artificial intelligence robotics plays a very important role. That's why in the medical sector the artificial intelligence and its role is very much increasing. And you can see like 3D printing, 3D mapping, 3D analysis of the report, all these comes under the digital medical sector. Okay, and what are the potential benefits of the artificial intelligence, how it can help? So it can help in many ways, like analyzing the healthcare data, optimize treatment plans, expediting healthcare procedures, revolutionizing drug discovery, along with not only drug discovery but drug delivery as well. Because with the invent of like nano technology, the drugs can be delivered to the body to the desired locations, okay, to minimize the infections. All of these are an example of growing artificial intelligence. Along with precision treatment is also an important point, and that's why India must continue to invest in research and development, along with foster collaborations between academia and industry and encourage innovation. And also it is also a point that artificial intelligence will add approx $1 trillion to India's economy by 2035. Now remember, this type of data is very important for quotation into the mains answer writing, because it will like highlight your points, justify your point what you are writing. So kindly remember this type of data. And also I try to provide limited data but very important, so that you can integrate into your mains answer. So what lies ahead, what India should do? So India stands a pivotal moment in its healthcare journey. We have usually succeeded into eradicating the disease burden, along with reducing the maternal mortality, infant mortality, along with we are targeting to remove TB, yani ki tuberculosis, along with the HIV treatment. So we are focusing on and we are going ahead. But for this we have to reimagine our healthcare model, and we should have the collaboration, we should have the integration of technology like artificial intelligence, robotics into our healthcare system, along with a good destination for medical value travel. And we should be leading in combating non-communicable disease, and for all this we need to reimagine our healthcare model. Okay, So we should prioritize the community health. We should foster public private partnership. We should invest in innovation and research. We should increase awareness, because in non-communicable disease or the communicable disease, first and foremost point to reduce the disease burden is basically create awareness about the disease. First of all, if people are not interested in awareness, then disease spread will be common. That's why awareness and consciousness about the disease should be a thing that should be promoted, and along with advocating the better lifestyle choice and enabling comprehensive healthcare checks. When we talk about comprehensive healthcare checks, means it is not only should be restricted to treating blood checkups, but comprehensive means CT scan, body scan, and system scan. All these comes under the comprehensive checkups to identify and diagnose the disease in a better way and to treat the disease in a better way as well. So that is the point, and we have highlighted in the article. Now shifting our focus to our second editorial discussion, and it is related to GS paper 3, and it will be covered under this topic. Okay, so when we talk about Project Cheetah, why government introduced Project Cheetah? It was because the Asiatic cheetah, which was home to India, was got extinct in 1950s. And why they got extinct? Because of various factors like poaching, like illegal killings. Okay, these all are the reasons. So to reintroduce cheetah into India, we have consulted with African countries like Namibia, like South Africa, so to introduce into India, so that the predator and the prey relationship get strengthened in India, and that will help to conserve the grassland ecosystem in India, specifically into the central highland, that is your Madhya Pradesh region, Chhattisgarh region, all of that. Okay, because in ecosystem, in environment, we see the linkages of the fauna and flora, and if there is a better condition of environment, then flora and fauna gets flourish, and better relation get established. That is the point. So to deal with that, the government in 2022 September, Project Cheetah was launched, and now a 1 year ahead, there is certain issue coming from this. What are the certain issues? We can see into the article discussion. So you can see on September 17, 2022, the first batch of 8 cheetah from Namibia arrived, and 12 cheetah, 8 cheetah from where? Namibia, and 12 cheetah later from South Africa. It was arrived. Okay, and what was the aim? Basically to establish viable cheetah meta population in India, so that the role of cheetah, which is basically top predator, should be well established in India, along with expansion of cheetah within its historical range, because one of the natural region for cheetah was India once upon a time, but it got extinct because of various factors. You can see the map how cheetah is flying from Africa to India in just an inimaginable way. Okay, so that is the point. So what is the status of the project? Where, what did, and how much good it performed? So first of all, we have talked about in total 20 adult African cheetah was imported so far, and before releasing into the environment, first of all, they are kept into quarantine, so that they should better adapt to the environment of India, specifically to the region where they will be placed. So that's why prolonged quarantine was done for them, and 6 of the cheetah which came from Africa died. We have seen in the news very much again and again that cheetah was dying. Along with, there was 4 birth of a small cubs, but out of 4, 3 died and only 1 left. And because of all that, the cheetah management organization took initiative to again shift the cheetah into the captivity, so that we can monitor the cause of that, along with the environment is better suitable or not, or the timely release of the cheetah in the coming future, that is your winter session. Okay, so all of these is a concerning issue. So now focus is also on that additional sites are being prepared, like Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, Nauradehi Wildlife Sanctuary, all are in Madhya Pradesh. But the cheetah which was reintroduced in India, it was located in which region? It was located in Kuno National Park, which is also in Madhya Pradesh. So kindly remember all these national parks or the wildlife sanctuary. It is also very important for the examination point of view. Every year UPSC asks, because environment section has a weightage of about 20 to 25 questions, you cannot ignore. And also the trend reflects that the questions is much more like dynamic in nature. You cannot stick to the you cannot stick to the static portion. You should be dynamic, like news which remains, like a wildlife sanctuary, like your national parks. You should be well aware of that. Every year that type of question gets asked. If you hadn't read or understand the previous year question, kindly go through that. Okay, that's why I also try to highlight the PYQ into our discussion. Why? Because you should be well aware before preparation or after the preparation. You should be well aware about the questions and the types, otherwise you are wasting your time. That is also important point to note. So why did the cheetah die? There are various reasons which are communicated by the experts, like infections. First of all, when the cheetah came from the African country to India, then they may be susceptible to new infections, to new viral or bacterial infections. Like when we go to new place and our body is not adapted to that type of climatic condition, we may also feel ill. That is also scenario with the animal as well. So when they introduce into India, might be they had faced viral infection or the bacterial infections, and because of that they died, you know. And also the first cheetah which died was due to the renal condition. Means when that cheetah was imported in India, they were facing the kidney issue, and when they came to India in a stress environment, because they were not adaptable, then definitely the condition got more worse. And also various causes of death of the cubs, that is the cheetah's child, was due to the heat wave condition that was prevailing into the central highland. And you know that in these period of time, the heat wave like conditions is very much specifically to the Madhya Pradesh region. Okay. And also there is another cause of death of another cheetah, that was due to the cardiopulmonary failure. But still, after analyzing all these, there was no definite cause of death was shared in the public domain by the government. Okay. So there are concerns that can be highlighted, like when cheetah reintroduction plan was created, then definitely they try to assess what should be the mortality rate when they will be brought into the India, or the what the problems they may face. So after understanding, they introduced. But moreover, we can say that mortality rate that was uh, predicted was more than that. Okay, that is also one of the problem. And also the population habitat viability assessment failed. What do you mean by population habitat viability assessment? Whenever we reintroduce or introduce a new species to a new location, then we should analyze that the habitat which we are bringing to new species, then what are the conditions of the habitat? Does the habitat may able to survive the population of the new species? We have to understand what may the infections may cause from that habitat. All these needs to be analyzed. But moreover, we can say that the population habitat viability assessment may have failed. Also, because of that, one important thing you should also note, that this cheetah reintroduction plan or the Project Cheetah, which was very aspirational project, was focused more and more. And because of that, financial resources, the team, the community got more focused towards this project. and because of that, various financial resources got diverted. Like the financial resources are also required for projects like Great Indian Bustard, along with translocation of Asiatic lines. But maybe because of the Project Cheetah, the financial resources got diverted. That is also an important issue raised here. So, what lessons can we learn here? First of all, without proper and adequate habitat, there is no point of importing more cheetah. Government is focused to bring more cheetah into India, but there should be a proper adequate habitat that will help to survive the cheetah. This assessment needs to be done. Along with, there is a need to have a high quality habitat. We are not talking about quality habitat, we are talking about high quality habitat that will able to survive the population of the cheetah, and it should be at least 5,000 square kilometer. And also, when this plan was introduced, there was lack of wider consultations and transparency from the experts, from various environmentalists. That also needs to be addressed, that needs to be highlighted as well. So that is the point, and that is the end of the editorial discussion. Now we are shifting on daily current affairs for the prelims purpose. So we will discuss about important points here. The first article is related to PM Vishwakarma scheme that was launched by the Prime Minister, and it cost about 13,000 crore. Okay, and this is the scheme of Government of India. And what is this PM Vishwakarma scheme? So it is basically focusing on reviving the traditional artisans and the craftsmen, because they faces very much competition and they are not able to take loans because of various nitty-gritties in the loan sector, like documentation issue and many more. So it will help to revive the traditional arts and artisans. Along with, PM inaugurated India International Convention and Expo Center. Okay, and that Expo Center will be very important for what? For performing exhibition, for artistic exhibition and many more things. And what is the importance of PM Vishwakarma scheme? It is like it will ensure collateral free enterprise development loans at the concessional rates. What is the concessional rates? You can understand, it has been given here, like at very low interest rate of 5%. Okay, and the remaining interest that will be borne by the government, specifically related to Ministry of Micro and Small Enterprises. So that is the point, and we have highlighted this. And what is the aim? We have talked about. And it will also generate employment opportunities. It will also enhance the product quality and the promotion of the traditional crafts, handicrafts and many more things. That is also an important point to remember. And now we are shifting to the second article. It is related to UN reforms. And when we talk about the UN reforms, it is a long pending issue. And India always try to raise the reform demand on various platforms, because India says that the United Nations reflects the values of 19th and 20th century, but now we are in 21st century, having independent, and various country got independent, and we have the various aspirations that is not reflected into the UN body. For example, the most pressing issue about the UN as the United Nations Security Council reform, because in this council we have the 15 members and 5 members are permanent. You can name the 5 permanent members, and these members have veto power over any decision taken into the UN Assembly or the UN Security Council. That's why there is no collaboration. That's why the institute like UN becoming outdated, because it does not reflect the interest of developing countries. It only reflects the interest of developed countries. That is also important. So there is a need for reforms. And some of important point you should note that from Africa, which represents 54 countries, but there is no one seat in the UN Security Council. Similarly for the India, similarly for the South American country, there is no representation into the UN Security Council. That's why the reform process needs to be integrated as soon as the possible, and that is the point which has been highlighted here. Okay, so friends, we have discussed all the articles in detail. You should had understand, I feel like that. And if you are getting good into the understanding, please do like, share, subscribe. It will help to bring innovation and creativity into our article discussion. We will bring our another initiative. So friends, for now, thank you very much for the discussion.